Hey guys, and welcome to World of Warships with Voulez-Vous. In today's replay I want to show you another one of my subscriber replays, and this time it's going to be a Mahan game in mid-tiers of the ranked battles, and the replay itself is being provided by an EU player, Brutal Bob 1337. So as it is going to be visible in a second, Brutal Bob has actually treated me to a really nice thing. He's hasn't sent me the replay file that the game is generating. He has actually sent me his NVIDIA Shadowplay recording, which is in many ways superior. It obviously takes much more space, but in that way we will actually get to see exactly what Brutal Bob sees when he is having a game like the one we're just about to see. So you can tell that this is a real replay file, not just the actual in-game replay file, but the fact that the latency, the ping in the top left corner, is actually positive. If it is a replay file, you usually see a minus next to it. And also, you will not notice any glitching that is so endemic to the replay files that the game is generating. And there will be no glitches when it comes to aiming. You will know exactly what Brutal Bob is aiming at. And yeah, it's just in many ways much more superior than the replays that the game is generating. And I'm really grateful that he actually took the time to record it and send it out to me. The obvious drawback is obviously the fact that a 20-minute game on full details on 1080p resolution, it is about 6 gigabytes. So I realized that it's not for everyone. But anyway, enough of this, and let's move on to the game. Oh, one more thing. I just wanted to say thanks for actually all of you guys sending me those replays, either replay files or replay recordings. I'm really grateful, and I'm happy that you guys are sending them to me, and it's always a big struggle for me to actually pick the one I can use, because there is so many good ones. And all I've got to say is just keep in comment. I will be watching all of them, and from time to time you will actually get to be featured on my channel as well. But I've got loads of my material as well, and I suppose you have to understand that as well, that I want to show this as well. So thanks a lot for that again, and let's move on to the map itself. So I believe this is the Atlantic map, but I'm actually not entirely sure, and Brutal Bob seems to be doing a similar thing that I am usually doing, which is, you know, encouraging the team to divide into two. He took upon himself to actually go and scout B. There is a cruiser following him into B, which is really good. That's, you know, usually enough to actually contest it at least and see what, you know, the enemy team has got to bring. And we can see that there's already some first engagements going on. There's an enemy York incoming, and Bob is using the islands for cover. He is still shooting at the enemy planes, but as you can see, the moment he got out of the AA's range of his guns, he's switched the AA off to make sure that he won't be spotted too early. It seems that the Mahan's AA is pretty decent. He might be running some perks or upgrades that you know, make it more efficient, because the range was coming up to about 5 kilometers, I think. But we'll see that in a second. So he's launching some torpedoes there, and this is the biggest strength of the Mahan, the third torpedo launcher, which I adore. It gave me so many good kills. Just the fact that people were not expecting me to actually have another set of torpedoes at the ready, just on the other side of the ship. I really like what Brutal Bob is doing here with his ammunition choices. He's constantly juggling them around, and as you can see, he's getting really good results. $2.7k of damage on a York. It's a very good result with the AP without actually getting any citadel shots. As you can see, the New Orleans to the left has just perished, and the York is charging on the position of Brutal Bob. But he's just about to reload torpedoes, and if I remember correctly, he's not even used to torpedo spreads, just the one, because he knows that the York is basically dead. beautifully executed. It's just a pleasure to watch this kind of stuff. You will also notice that Brutal Bob has got an excellent eye for judging trajectories and basically ballistics. He rarely misses his first shot. It doesn't matter if it's if the target is 10 kilometers away or 5. He usually is spot on when it comes to judging the distance, the lead needed. And this is very valuable. It pays off so much in any boat that has got a slightly higher shell travel arc. So that's 2 ships already executed on B, and that's where Brutal Bob is making sure that his team is aware of that as well. Unfortunately, and this is something I do very often, he communicates it to the whole server population, as in the enemies and his teammates, but that's fine. And again, as you can notice, the moment those planes were in range and he knew that he's getting spotted anyway, he switched his AA guns on instantly and marked one of the squadrons for attack. Now he's hiding in smoke. He keeps his AA on, but because there was no one else who can spot the planes for him, the AA is silent as well. But I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of this. You can completely and absolutely, without any fail, use your AA guns and still be unspotted while you are in smoke. So he was using that right now, and he was hoping to get some hits on the planes, but he had a good hunch about the torpedo squadron trying to line up for a torpedo run. So he left the smoke the moment they were dropping their torpedoes inside it. So that's really cool, and obviously it saved his life. So this is something that you really need to be on top of your game with when it comes to being a good, successful destroyer captain within the ranked battles community. It just gets harder and harder the higher you get. So overstaying your welcome in smoke is, it could be deadly. So he's been shooting that squadron of fighters that was right behind him, but now he's trying to disappear himself, make an attempt on getting that Miyako. So he moved away from the planes on the straight line, as far as possible to disappear, and now he's preparing to relocate and basically contribute more to the success of this team. So he's just dropped the speed boost, and I believe that he wanted to do a suicide run on the Miyako, but seeing that he will be alone there, and he would have to have quite a big distance to cover before he would be able to successfully and reliably torpedo or kill that Miyako, he would have been spotted. So he's changing his mind, and he's using the island for cover, and basically he wants to go for the A cap now. And this is not something I would see as a negative thing, because you really need to be flexible, especially in ranked battles. You need to be observant, and you can't just blindly follow a plan that you had in mind at the beginning of the battle, because it's just not gonna work. And I know it's self-explanatory, and many people of you would just say that this is the most basic stuff, but you'd be surprised how many players, even in higher ranks of the ranked battles, still commit that mistake, and I'm guilty of it as well. So I tunnel vision as well. So just keep that in mind. And the more good examples of gameplay we get to see, like Brutal Bob's here, the better. So he's almost halfway through between the A and B cap, and he made a mistake in my opinion. He fired his guns with that Miyako only being 30 kilometers away, and I don't know how good the Miyako captain is. I have my doubts about him, but yeah, I mean, if it was me in that Miyako, Brutal Bob right now would be on a sliver of his health or dead. So that is pretty much the first criticism I can give to Brutal Bob's gameplay. I would stay hidden for as long as the Hatsuharu wouldn't be spotting me, and only then open my guns. And look at what he's doing right here. I mean, he launched those torpedoes quite a long time ago, and you know, there's no doubt that the Hatsuharu has no problems with dodging them. But what he did right now with those torpedoes is basically occupy the Hatsuharu's captain, so that the Hatsuharu captain wouldn't be able to shoot his guns as well. And this is an excellent way of actually handling enemy destroyers. You know, you launch those torpedoes basically to keep him occupied, so to keep him maneuvering, and that way the longer they are maneuvering, the less time they're spending on actually shelling your own ship. And that way, personally, I get to engage full health Bensons in my Fubuki and still come out victorious without really losing that much health in the process. You know, just as a gunfight, you know, with the help of torpedoes, just as Brutal Bob did here. So he was lining up to shoot the Nagato, and you know, with 1,000 health, even the Mahan would be potentially able to finish it off, and a kill is a kill. Why not? He's already got 3 of them. So yeah, he was trying to do that, but turns out that the battleship got picked off by friendly. So judging by the distance the Tirpitz is from the Mahan, I'm guessing he is using the 9.2 kilometer range torpedoes on his Mahan, which is a good choice. I personally use them right now as well, but for a long time I was a big fan of the shorter range torpedoes, and sometimes I do mount them as well. Not in ranked. In ranked it's a bit different, but in random battles I do mount them as well, and they I think they complement my gameplay a bit better. So he's launched 3 of his torpedo spreads, and he's basically occupying the A cap. He's got all the time in the world, and you know, looks like the Tirpitz is actually on each one. No, I was close though. But it seems that the Tirpitz is occupied by somebody else, so obviously there's no problem with opening up on it. And he instantly drops smoke. He's hiding in smoke and shelling the Tirpitz. I believe the goal here is to set the Tirpitz on fire and deal some extra fire damage. And that's the Tirpitz on fire, and what we need right now is to observe the ship. Oh yeah, see, there you go, he repaired instantly. So 20 seconds post that moment, any fire that Brutal Bob is going to start is going to result in a lot of fire damage, and the Tirpitz captain won't be able to repair for at least a minute. So that's quite a lot. And you know, if you're talking about criticism, this is a bit tricky right here, because I understand why he switched. I understand why he switched to the Miyoko. The Miyoko is a much worse target, and somebody has just asked him to help him out with the Miyoko. So he's just being a good teammate, but I think I would have still sort of quote-unquote wasted another volley or 2 on Tirpitz just to try to set it on fire while the cooldown was still on. And you know, this kill right now, it was just, you know, the Miyoko had all the time in the world to avoid that, but he must have made a fatal mistake trying to line up all of his guns on the Mahan, and that's how he scores himself his 4th kill, 3rd torpedo hit, and yeah, he's definitely on top of the team list right now. I don't know what sort of damage he's done. Brutal Bob hasn't sent me the damage dealt screen on his final result screen, but it must have been pretty cool. So yeah, so that is the moment where Brutal Bob meets his demise, but this happens really often, at least from my perspective, in ranked battles as well. You can have a big contribution towards your team's win, and you personally can still have a monster game, but it doesn't really mean anything. And sometimes it is better to pose as a distraction and sacrifice your own ship in order to allow your team much much better, much more assured win in the end, because winning is the only thing that matters here. No damage, no experience. That's all there is to it. So guys, the rest of the replay I will just skip, and let's move on to the final battle results screen, and let's see what Brutal Bob has been awarded with for this monster of a game in the Mahan. So as you can see, this gave Brutal Bob his first star in the progression towards his 11th rank, and it just proves that you can find really good focused players even in mid-tiers of the ranked battles. We all have to progress from some point, and the higher you get, the more chances you actually have to encounter really good players like Brutal Bob right now. So yeah, first star. I'm sure he moved up a lot since then, and even though the Mahan is not a premium ship, just look at the money he's made: 540,000 of profit, just under 8,500 of experience, 107 hits on target, which with the Mahan and its 5 guns is an okay result. It's nothing spectacular, but again, you know, spectacular results is not something that you look for in the ranked battles. You know, you're just looking for wins. 3 torpedo hits, 4 kills, once time set on fire, and I believe he had the chance of setting the turrets on fire again. That would have been some extra damage for him. But overall, an excellent game. And as you could see, this game was a monster game for him in terms of base experience. 3,740 base experience, and obviously the first place in his team. It's an excellent result, and it's a combination of those 4 kills that he managed to pull off, the capping that he did on both of the caps, and yeah, it's just an overall excellent game. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show you the damage done screen because Brutal Bob, in his excitement, forgot to record that bit, and the you know pure profit screen has been lost as well. So I will have to end this at this point, and I would just like to give my thumbs up to Brutal Bob and his gameplay in the Mahan. I would love for all of my enemies and my teammates, obviously, to be on the same level when it comes to, you know, game awareness and situational awareness. And Brutal Bob has just shown us a stellar game in a tier 7 destroyer. And I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this, and if you did, please give it a like down below. It helps the channel out immensely. It motivates me to come up with new content. And if you did like it, also think about hitting the subscribe button at the top there. For now, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the open seas.